Hello, beloved soul. I wanted to discuss something really crazy that is, and even if I'm not fully right by the way, it's just this will cause an interesting click or depolarization, as I like to say, in your brain. So you will get something really cool from this video. Whether like the theory is like a full theory, like an absolute truth or whatever, just when it depolarized in my brain, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, how could it not see it before? Now going from that to starting preaching as truth and maybe trying to shake people into waking them up, that would be crazy and from the ego. But I do appreciate these little truths because it's like they unlock something in my brain and the energy can flow again more naturally, sort of like it probably did when I was a kid, even though I was not a happy kid from what I gather. At least I didn't have as much mental illness, we could say, as when I was like a teenager. So in that sense, a more natural flow of energy, right? So here's the scoop. As repulsion increases, so will attraction inevitably increase as well. There's this crazy phenomenon, right, where kids are not like grossed out by their poop. In fact, this is a good example because they go as far as being proud of when they take a shit. I've heard this story so many times. I could pretty much tell you, just ask any mother, and they probably have some experience with their kids being like weird, not weird probably, but like we'll get to that further, about their poop. And it's just like a fantastic example, let's be honest, because let's say this kid is age 4. Somehow the fact that they made him force him to use diapers and basically shit himself and sit on his shit for a lot of time, like the grossest thing that I could possibly think about. Like, not I'm saying like we should feel grossed out by shit, I just think diapers are very gross. Oh, but Mark, would you want to shit on the bed like directly? No, I don't have a solution. I'm just saying it's fucking disgusting because like it's making like the parts touch the poop. Like, it's fucking gross. I'm worried. So here in the chart, the imaginary chart, although I'm going to try to make it probably with AI, right, when I'm editing, is you do not feel grossed out by shit at age 4 or whatever, right? And then as you go into elementary school or whatever, like this topic becomes gross. Like farting is funny because it's like gross and you shouldn't do it, like you should repress it. And yeah, if you fart with your friends and there's a girl there, your reputation is ruined like permanently because it's gross. Yeah, like shit just becomes, you develop repulsion to the topic, right? Incidentally, as you keep going higher in age, people will sadly start watching pornography very soon. I started in elementary school. I know, it's crazy. Well, it wasn't really me, right? As I usually say on the videos, I didn't have a soul. But this world will have you starting watching pornography at that age. And it's really interesting because, as you might predict where this is going, if repulsion and attraction are the same energy, it is super interesting that most people, I will include myself even if it wasn't me, will end up watching like anal porn at some point. Probably not in elementary school. I probably would have been grossed out by that still. But like, later down the road when you become like more depraved because you're addicted to dopamine and you need different type of hinks and categories and you just can't get enough, basically, you will eventually start watching that category, right? The System of a Down lyric, choking chicks and sodomy, the kind of shit you get on your TV or something like this came to my mind. Okay, so this is interesting because the same thing that was like basically, first of all, you were neutral about assholes, we could say. As a kid, you were like proud of your poop. It was like super neutral about it, super like casual and nonchalant, and just not energetically involved in a obsessive way, whether through extreme repulsion or extreme attraction. Then it starts morphing into extreme repulsion for some reason. You get all this social stigma, you don't want to think about shit, you don't like, it's gross, all these things. You steer away very far from the original place of neutrality. And then as it's increasing pretty much, as like at the same time probably that it's increasing your repulsion, you start like being attracted to girls' butts, like for no reason, even though they fart. This is crazy because I just unlocked like an insane memory from when I was 11 years old and I saw like on 9gag or something like really old, like a post which said like whenever you're attracted to your school crush or whatever, just think that they poop, you know, like they also poop, and then it will go away. And it actually like worked back then. Like this is so fucking crazy to just remember this in real time, because I like had developed a crush on this girl. We texted over emails. I remember, like, we were romantic over emails, and then she dumped me over emails, I remember as well. And it didn't really feel like love, you know. It did feel kind of like an obsession from that age, of course. And when I did see that post, I remember trying, and I was like, oh yeah, she shits, what the fuck, like that's gross, like this is so stupid. And then like it removed the hypnosis. Like I literally remember for a fact that for 10 minutes or maybe the whole day I was like, oh, like why was I even suffering about her? Like seriously, like she's just like me, just like a normal person. It's not like this higher up goddess or whatever they condition men to see women as. Oh my god, this is so fucking funny that I remember that. Holy shit. But I think that was a wink at maybe trying to go back to the original state from when I was 4 years old, before all the conditioning, in which like you couldn't get obsessed or hyper attracted to a girl, because like you could sort of in a weird way still balance out this attraction with repulsion, even though that's not completely natural. The natural point would be just pure neutrality that you don't even have to force. There was still like a little bit of a hint, like, oh yeah, they poop or whatever, like this is stupid, why am I so obsessed? When you are like 16, 17 or whatever, and you're already like fully depraved and you're having sex or whatever, or even if you're not having sex, you're probably thinking about it all the time, this will not cut it. Like you will think like, yeah, they poop, and that should be like, that should gross me out somehow. But at the same time, like anal porn is like the hottest things or whatever, right? And here you can see an example of the polarity kicking in and showing you another inconsistency, which is like men also have assholes, and you don't find it like extremely resistible. Like personally, never happened to me. It was always like with girls, you know. It's like, it's funny because it's the same exact thing. Like, it has no distinction. It's not like vagina, penis or whatever. In fact, from what I know, men like they get excited more, like they have more nerves or something in the ass or whatever. So they like will enjoy it more than girls will, and yet still one like only is obsessed with girls. So my energetic theory is, because of all the conditioning that made you leave this place of neutrality that you had at 4 years of age, you became grossed out by ass and poop and fart and asshole. And then you open a video, a porn video, and suddenly like there's an asshole there, and you're like, all this repulsion instantly flips and this and becomes like this incomprehensible attraction. I also remember the first times that I watched porn as a little kid, that I didn't even want to see the genitals, like it was too much or something. And then of course probably the dopamine addiction and stuff led me even further. I remember trying to like only watch girl on girl porn as very like young kid, just to avoid seeing like the penis and the ass of the man. Like I just didn't want it. Like this is already showing you like how fragmented one becomes, because like again, it's the same nakedness, just in women you find it irresistible, and in men you find it like super gross. Like it's really like weird. I think a kid like wouldn't even care like whether like if he sees their mom naked or their dad naked accidentally or whatever, like it would just like be the same, like, oh, like who cares type of reaction. It's not super like one or the other in extreme poles. So this is the work of the matrix, right, we could say, and not the soul. This would also explain to you why after watching porn and just really letting yourself go into degeneracy land, in the sense that you came a lot of times, like whatever, you just came, you couldn't hold it together, it also flips from a lot of attraction to repulsion right away. Like you will look at yourself in the screen like almost and be like, oh my god, what am I doing with my life? And then if you're like really sensitive, you could like go on and cry. Like it happened to me a few times, not every time, but like it happened. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like this is like, I know I'm not okay with it and I still do it. Like I'm fucking retarded. How could it flip so much from extreme attraction, like extreme lust and like, oh my god, yeah, hell fucking yeah, to like, oh my god, like what the fuck, yeah, because we're pretty much like possessed. Everyone is possessed in a sense, like they believe they can be true people instead of getting to know themselves and just see, oh, I shouldn't do that anymore. Not because it's immoral, which we could say it is, but not because it's immoral. Because if you start talking about whether it's immoral or moral, you could provide arguments for each side endlessly. Which also reminds me that the pornography in itself is sort of revealing you that it can never satisfy you, because like there's endless content. So it's sort of like reading in its very nature of lust, that like there's infinite content. There's like more being made all the time, and there's just pretty much you could never watch all of it. So it's sort of like in the DNA of pornography, or and lust is sort of the very fact that it's an endless, never-ending pursuit, which should make you wanna like pursue it, instead of like when I was super addicted, I had like this fake mentality that maybe I should do it more. So then I transcended, and it was my ego just finding it smart. It wasn't even that smart, to be honest, but it worked at the time. Way to just continue to be an addict. So yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, and I believe that probably the whole reason for fueling so much repulsion conditioning about sex to kids is then so when they have unrestricted internet access at age 9, they will inevitably be like consumed by the curiosity. And so porn is clearly like evil in a not moral type of way, just like plain energetically not resonant, at least to me. Sort of like I described on the McDonald's video. The biggest problem is that you raise the kids to have all this repulsion regarding sex, and then you give them unrestricted internet access at age 9, and then they, you know, they're consumed by this energy, and they develop like a huge amount of shame at the same time, but they can't stop at the same time because it's too much energy. Yeah, it's like it feels totally like raising a cow just to eat it, and then telling the cow like, oh, you're an addict, like you should just stop watching. Like no, everything was like made as hard as possible for you. Yes, you will overcome. I'm not saying like just be a victim. It's not what I'm saying, but at least validate yourself. It's like really like all the odds are against you. This world hates you. That's my feeling, at least.